Hi, my name is Tyler Wheeler, and today we'll be talking about safer and healthier foods. Who started it all was Upton Sinclair, who made it known about the packaging system in Chicago and how the producers and the packaging system was very unsanitary and just not safe to eat, which really started the Pure Food and Drug Act, and that really had a licensing um, take on people who were trying to process food and package food, and that really took a damper on farmers as well. This all started awareness, a big drastic awareness spread, which started a healthier movement. Food safety, big thing in the early 1900s, all the way up to 2000s. Perishable foods were getting to be a bigger thing, so you could obviously have it for months on end, and then you could eat it then. Bacteria in foods, if the food was not refrigerated, which they just started finding out in the 1900s, and the consumers trying every way to keep food fresh. Before freezers, there were consumers really would just buy their meats and then go outside and freeze them in the snow, just trying to last them as long as possible, which helped with food processing when there started to be more technologies able to do this food processing and package foods and then being able to do perishable foods and then freezing them. Nutrition, big thing in the 1900s. Nutrients that help disease control. The more nutrients you have, the less disease there is, which kind of is why there was funded nutrition programs in the early 1940s. And that may seem kind of late. Why not 1900s, 1910s when they first found out? It's because they didn't really know what nutrition was. And when they first found out about nutrition, that's when they said, okay, we're going to start nutrition programs to try and be a healthier society. More fruits pretty much meant the less likely you would to have cancer, and so that's why everyone was eating fruits in the 1900s because they wanted no one wanted cancer. And then the second half of the 1900s are really devoted to preventing chronic diseases and trying not to have it year after year. So a healthy plate, it really is. A lot of people think it's just you got to have your meats and then your vegetables, and that's pretty much it. No, really, it's you got a bigger portion of vegetables than anything else. You got to have your whole grains, such as rice or pasta, and then your healthy protein is obviously your meat, but that's not even the biggest portion. It's your vegetables. That's what you mainly need, which is a nutrient, and it's a must. And you obviously got to have your fruits in there as well. It's not as big of a portion, but you still need it. So the 1900s was really the century of health. This is when biochemists found the basic nutrients in food, and that kind of created, if you have a lack of vitamins, a lack of nutrients, then that created diseases or even cancer. Um, and then they found out that obesity was a rising health flaw, and it kind of was really just up to the consumer whether or not they were going to be obese. So there wasn't much they could do about it except bring awareness to it. And knowing what we know about diseases, it really is just okay. So how do we prevent these diseases? And so this is a graph after healthier foods was kind of put into place, some more nutrients, more vitamins. The This is hundreds of thousands of cases of typhoid fever by year, and so 1920 obviously was the biggest spike, more like 1922, and then it started dropping after we found out that healthier foods were helping with this typhoid fever to drop. And staying on track, you really got to make sure healthy foods come first. Always trying to keep a steady intake of food each day. Don't go drastic and have ice cream, every single day. But know what you are putting in your body, especially knowing what we know about nutrients and vitamins. Make sure that's in there. Make sure vegetables are in that daily intake. And then you got to read the labels before eating because that's how you really know what you're putting in your body, such as sugars. Like we don't want hundreds and hundreds of grams of sugar a day. That's just way unhealthy. We got to have those nutrients and vitamins for sure, those proteins, vegetables, and fruits. And then fruits and vegetables, I already emphasized this earlier, but that's a big way of keeping our children safe. We really just got to make sure they're not having a whole bunch of candy every day. Make sure fruits and vegetables is in their daily diet. cornerstone to the food pyramid. Make sure fruits and vegetables come first, even before anything else, such as pastas or meats. I think that is a way we can really just emphasize what we are intaking into our children. Pesticides are the least of parents' worries. A lot of people think that pesticides are a huge thing in fruits. But it's really not. You can give them as much as you want. The nutrients and vitamins will fight off whatever was in that fruit. And then in the new age, the program's able to share information of an outbreak. So as soon as there is an outbreak, we try to stop it as quickly as possible. Obviously, COVID didn't work that well, but before that, like the typhoid fever, they nipped it pretty quick, and it was a rapid decrease. Detection early to stop the spread is a big one. Focus on farm to table healthiness, which is pretty much farm to the producer, to the packaging, and then to the table. And that just means making sure there's sanitary things in all of those four. Staying educated on technology that enhances our health, which pretty much just means we're all doing our part to try and stay educated on what we can do to be healthier. How this changed public health was first, there was more concern on what to eat and what to be cautious of. Secondly, eat more nutrient-rich foods, which I went over earlier. Three, making sure to monitor food intake, which is reading labels, making sure we know what we're taking. And then fourth, keep children away from sweets and more towards fruits and vegetables, which I emphasized earlier. And this just means we're trying to make sure we have a healthier society. And this is my references. Thanks for watching.